Asian Chinese culture is trying to teach people to achieve this inner state that no matter you are rich or poor, you can always live your life fully. Hello everyone, my name is Christine. Welcome to my channel. So today's video is gonna be how do we use Asian Chinese philosophy to nurture a better inner world. So hopefully this video can bring you some value. And it's really hard to talk about what Asian Chinese culture is. So here I've just provided some core values and some Asian Chinese philosophies and stuff like that. So hopefully it can bring you some value. So for those who might not know or first time to hear, I just want to let you guys know that I also organize offline meetup group in Manhattan, New York. So if you've ever visited New York or you live here, don't forget to check it out. I'll post the link down below so you guys can check more info about it. Without further ado, let's get started. So hi again. So this is supposed to be a presentation I made for our first meetup. So I don't know which social media platform you are currently watching. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and scan this QR code. It will lead you to my channel. And you can also follow my Twitter account, in which you can see more, bite-sized stuff on Twitter. So this happens to be a quote that I saw from the book Principles by Ray Dalio that morning that I made this PowerPoint, which states that principles are fundamental truths that serve as the foundations for behavior that gets you what you want out of life. And the reason I put it here is because I think Asian Chinese culture has the same power to really set you up for certain principles that will help you to live your life better or to live a fulfilled life. We are all getting there. It won't get you to that point just immediately, but gradually it builds up to that ideal life you are, trying to manifest. So let's just take a moment to think about why you want to watch today's video. What really intrigues you about learning Asian Chinese culture? Why do you want to learn about it? Is it because you have some Chinese friends and their way of thinking are super different from you, and you wonder where does their thinking rooted from? Or maybe it's because you want to know Chinese and of course you want to know the culture behind it as well. So I'm just making different assumptions because I don't really know who you are. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I feel like having that clarity in mind up front before you approach anything really helps you to know what motivates you and can help you to learn stuff better. So today I summarized 3 core values for you to take away. And the first one, I'm going to start with this quote from the Book of Rights, which is one of the classical book in Confucianism. It states making peace of yourself before making peace of your surroundings, your family, your country, and the whole world. And the original Chinese quote states like this: 修身, which means cultivate the self, 齐家, regulate the family, 治国, govern the state, and 平天下, lead the world to peace. So this quote will lead us to one thing that I'm going to talk about today, which is one thing that we usually either attach too much of or we usually neglect about, which is you or us, me included. So in Asian Chinese culture, people usually talk about this idea a lot, which is inspect ourselves inwardly. In Chinese, it's called 反求诸己, means look back to yourself. And in Indian, there's a word called vipassana, which I'm not going to talk a lot today, but I'll link this word down below so you guys can find more information about it. But basically, it's a very similar idea. And this word was said by a great philosopher called mencius, but it really was probably not originated from him. There's a lot of theories that people talk about in the past in ancient China that reflect this idea. A lot of the ideas in Confucianism or Taoism is really centered about this. So it's always coming back to yourself, whatever external things are happening. Which leads to our first point today, which is taking ownership of your life. And this really, what it means is taking your power back instead of taking your power away. We can't really change what others' opinion towards us. We can't change what was happening outside world, but we can 100% change who we are, how we behave, and how we behave really it's up to us. And so that's why I feel like it's super important that be responsible about what you are putting out. For example, like the word you are saying or the behavior you are performing, because you never know how those things are gonna affect others around you. So always make sure that you say things or do things without any negativity. And this is one thing I learned from Asian Chinese culture, which teach me this power and really transformed my life. And the second thing that I summarized here is Asian Chinese culture, all those great values that I've learned really teach me how to work with my own ego and letting go of those attachment. So I guess one thing I want to add a little bit here is that I was also watching an Indian yogi or guru's talk. His name is Sadhguru, which I'll post his channel down there as well. He said, people talking about letting go of those attachments nowadays a lot, but life is all about involvement as well. If you don't involve, how can anything good or bad, anything happen? So I think I'll just leave you guys, both opinions here, just to let you guys to decide what really works for you. So for me, how I look at it is that I think letting go of your attachment and at the same time getting involved in certain things you're passionate about really doesn't conflict with each other. And it's just like the yin and yang graph. If you guys see my earlier video, I think even if you didn't, you still know this yin and yang idea. And it's just like, there's always this two energy kind of, dynamically changing and evolving and like switching back and forth. So it is about letting go of your attachment, but it's also about involvement to certain things that you feel passionate about, because otherwise good things would not happen if you don't have fully involved, dedicated passion or effort into it, right? But at the same time, if you are too attached to certain things, bad things could happen as well. Coming back to this idea, I'm just going to leave you guys with this one quote, which says that your outer world is a perfect reflection of what's inside of you. And which I was kind of inspired by something else I heard from Gary Vee, that he says that whatever people are putting out there on social media is a perfect indicator of what's inside of you, which I happen to agree as well, because I think the real problem was not caused by social media, because it's just a tool. It is the person who's behind that screen, who's using that phone, either because their own lacking of self-discipline, or they are searching for some security out of the social medias. That is us, as a human being who's using that. We are the person who needs to be fixed. I think it all comes back to the human level, taking 100% control of yourself first before we are going out to do anything else. So the third thing here I think Asian Chinese culture can teach us is this idea of accepting everything just the way it is. Just look at everything the way it is and accept what it is. So if you want to know more about it, you can go ahead and check my former video talking about Tao, which I shed some lights on what Tao is and how it teaches me to really learn to accept everything just the way it is. Or maybe it's some other video, but I'll link it down below. And last bit of information today before we go is that for those out there who want to know more about Asian Chinese philosophy, Asian Chinese cultures, you have to know that this culture, this country is built up based on this idea of three teachings, which is a combination of Confucianism, Taoism, as well as Buddhism. And it's all about how those three methods, how those three teachings work in harmony. So Confucianism and Taoism are originally from this idea of I Ching, and then Buddhism was originally from India. But all those three things has laid a great foundation for Asian Chinese philosophies, and it's worth mentioning here for those who really want to learn. So for those who are members of my meetup group, this is for you and also for future members if you are interested in joining. Even if you are not based in New York, you can still join. It's free to join, and I was constantly posting those useful information or resources for you guys to learn about Asian Chinese culture, and also a place where you guys can ask questions about Asian Chinese culture. It's all about learning from each other. It's all about fostering this community where people sharing and learning and growing together. And also, of course, most importantly, solving problems. We are here to hear everyone's questions, problems, and we're all trying to solve it together. No matter what life stages you are, I think it can all bring you some value. So feel free to join. I'll post more information down there. And last but not least, our values. We value authenticity, fun, and transparency. I want to make sure everyone come here, we can have a great time together, as well as learning something new to help you to eventually build up a great foundation for our lives. So no matter what life stages you are currently living in, no matter how old you are, what background you are from, I think all that matters is whether, by the end of the day, whether we are happy and living a fulfilling life, and let's help each other out. And that's why I firmly believe the value of this group and what we can offer. So by the end of the day, it's not just about me, it's about everyone else who's in this group, which is another thing I've learned from Asian Chinese culture or Chinese culture in general, is that always prioritize others in front of myself. Because for me, I think it's important that living a life fully is not about just blossom as a human being, but it's also about how to empower others so that we can all blossom together. I'm not saying that, money, fame, and all those external things are unimportant. They are important, but I think one thing the Asian Chinese culture is trying to teach people to achieve this inner state that no matter you are rich or poor, you can always live your life fully. So that is, I guess, the biggest takeaway for those who are watching right now. So that's it for today. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video and learned something. So feel free to share your thoughts, questions, suggestions, or any criticisms as well. I welcome everything. And you guys can follow me on Twitter. This is my personal Twitter that I tweet a lot of things, not just about Chinese culture. And you can also visit my website to know a little bit more about me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!